Good evening. My name is Ray Dwyer, and this is Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation and book discussion group. Tonight, we're discussing the book Becoming Supernatural, Chapter 13, Project Coherence, Making a Better World. What does he mean by coherence? We need to start with that word to begin with. To be coherent is to be tuned in with intent. Project Coherence is about being tuned in with intent to a large field of people. We'll even discuss his intent is to be tuned into the world, to raise the frequency and energy of the world. But what does the word mean, coherent, on a smaller scale? In the process of learning Dr. Joe's meditation, you learned mind and heart connecting, and that connecting is called coherent. The mind energy is electric, the heart energy is magnetic. So the two energies are really quite different. And that's not figuratively. The the mind energy is a high frequency and it is a vertical wave. If you had the electronic sensitive equipment, you could as a tech head like me, you would see that the energy waves are vertical, where the heart waves are magnetic earth waves. They're actually horizontal. So the mind heart waves are really very different. But when they tune in, instead of being erratic, that means they work together. And when they work together, they add. And when they add, the wave energy becomes very large. And a number of graphs throughout the book, he shows how a coherent mind and heart become very high energy. So that's coherence on a singular scale. Group coherence is when you have a group of people in a common time, don't even have to be in a common place, just at a common time with a common meditation, with a common intent, tuning in and become common coherence, where the whole group is tuned in the same intent of heart, mind, and they have a group energy that adds together. And by having a large body of people in a very tuned in with a similar intent, there is a new level of field that's built around those people. This isn't woo woo. There are scientific instruments that they could put around Dr. Joe's meditators, and some of these people can blow the needle off the chart. That's what Project Coherence is about. It's about large groups of people sitting down at the same time with the same intent, tuning into each other and becoming coherent, where they have energy waves that are in tuned, attuned to each other, and it becomes a large field. That's what the word coherent means. It's an important word in Dr. Joe's work. First, you learn to be coherent in yourself, and then you learn to be in groups and be attuned to the group and have group coherence. It is a skill. It's not woo woo, it's not mysticism. It's something a very average person can learn with a little bit of practice and a little bit of shedding the things that they hold on to. Let me start. I've got notes throughout the chapter. On page 287, in the middle of the page, it says, the illusion of separation taxes and divides individuals, communities, societies, countries, and Mother Nature herself. The mindlessness, the carelessness, greed, and disrespect of human activity is threatening life as we know it. No kidding. It's a wonder we haven't destroyed ourselves over the time that we've had. A few times we've come pretty close, I think. Page 288. If you aren't aware that there is an increase in frequency and energy occurring at this time, an increase in anxiety, tension, and passion, then you might not be paying attention to your own state of being and mankind's interconnectedness to this energy. Let me tell you something that I've learned along the way. This generation may be the first generation, at best, the second generation in the past 2 to 4,000 years where average people could sit and talk about this kind of subject without being ostracized by the politics and religion of their day. Western religion was brutal to people who taught knowledge around their religion instead of their religion. Brutal. And the Western religion is still pretty harsh about it. Thousands of years. We now can go anywhere and have coffee, sit and talk in public, lay these books out, and people just, if you're into it, you think it's interesting. If you're not, you go, oh, just some weirdos. Nobody is interested in ostracizing us. That don't mean they don't think you weird or that you might be doing something dark, but you can still go to the grocery store. You won't be fired from your job because you're doing some weird meditation. 1950s, you may have been. You see, it's not that long ago in the United States. This is new. Why am I bringing this up? Because of that statement. If you aren't aware that there is an increase in frequency and energy occurring at this time, are you kidding me? Society is changing at an energetic level. It really is. There are mystic teachers around the planet, and they're having people spontaneously healed for the same reason Dr. Joe is. The whole world has a stirring of energy that's happening now. That doesn't mean it's all going to be pretty. You remodel your kitchen, you're going to tear up some cabinets first, right? A little bit like that. There's going to be some shaking and rattling and rolling. And there's going to be some serious resistances in some places. But yes, there's some serious energy changing happening around our planet. Regardless, the old must fall away or break down so that something more functional can emerge in its place. I think this level of freedom of mind is much more functional than the strict rules of religion that I was pounded into as a child. Sorry if I offend, but that's just my feelings. This excitement in energy, both within humans and nature, begs several questions. Could greater influences be at play that are affecting mankind's correlation to violence, war, crime, terrorism, and conversely to peace, unity? Is there a reason why all of this is happening at this particular time? Now that question is beyond my pay grade and beyond this conversation. Uh, there's all kind of fun conversations we can have about that, but it won't matter to this conversation. It's just there for you to ask yourself, is there something greater than man influencing the world, not just you or me, but the world, so that the world is having a shaking and society's, the basic faith, basic understanding of life is changing. Further down page 188, the results have consistently demonstrated a positive effect in the immediate reduction of crime, warfare, terrorism, and the average of greater than 70%. Huh. What that's about, let me back up a little bit on that statement so you know what the root of that is. The power of temporary peace gathering projects has been exhibited and thoroughly field tested in more than 50 demonstrations. This isn't woo woo. I keep saying that because I really, really want you to get the idea that this isn't some kind of imaginary feel good meditation. When groups of people know how to tune in and turn on, and they're large enough, this reports 50 demonstrations where those demonstrations have had statistical changes, immediately reduction in crime, warfare, terrorism, such and such that I read. 50 of them around the world, different places. They talk about Palestine, they talk about Israel, they talk about Australia, they talk about just cities where they went and just had a group of people and they spent 2 weeks, and their whole purpose of being there was to go into meditation for 8 hours a day or more and just get tuned in for the purpose and intent to give peace to that city. And it's a statistical fact that during that time, crime decreased. Yeah, this isn't woo woo. We're talking about real life stuff. The results of the 2-month study showed that on days when there was a high participation of meditators, 76% reduction in war deaths occurred. The results were then replicated in 7 consecutive experiments over a 2-year period during the peak Lebanon war. When this group of people would go there and sit and gather and turn on, the stress of the war just seemed to diminish. The numbers, all they did was track numbers. This clearly demonstrates that the more unified the consciousness of a group of people within a specific elevated energy is, the more it can change the consciousness of and the energy of others. The purpose of reading that is to open your door of possibility. What all these studies ultimately point to is that there's significant evidence that group meditations of the right size with skilled meditators, that's skilled. This is a skill Dr. Joe teaches. Why do I call it a skill? Because you learn knowledge, you practice the experience, and you get better over time. That sounds like a skill to me. With skilled meditators who change their emotions and energy, can influence and create non-local measurable effects on peace and global coherence. These people sit and do their work, and they affect non-local. That means they affect the environment, the energy of someplace else. It's not where they're at. They can tune it to someplace else. I don't have to be there. I don't have to be with somebody for me to share love in my meditation for their wellness. It's non-local. Distance is not an issue in meditation. No matter the location, most cultures have recognized the sun as the prime controller. This is just an introduction to people, religions, and how it's evolved over this and that. I don't, it's an interesting subject about the sun relationship to life on Earth, uh, and how the sun affects the weather, the warmth, the coldness. It's the sun cycle. It's not whether you drive a car with a big engine. Okay, let me continue. On a grand scale, it is impossible to deny the interconnective between the sun's energy and the Earth's energy and the energy of all living things. The sun is a massive electromagnetic force. The Earth is a receiver of the sun's energy. The Earth has a very low self energy. I mean, it's got it because it's got a moon that goes around, and the iron in the Earth flexes and creates a small force. But the Earth is not a star. You go into space and the Earth is dark, except the light that reflects from the sun off the Earth. We live and breathe according to the sun's energy. Over on page 292, there's a little graphic of the Earth's electromagnetic field. If it were not for the protection of this insulation of the Earth's electromagnetic field, the radiation of the sun would have wiped out all life a long time ago. These ejections compress the Earth's field, heating the Earth's ions. It's the sun's radiation that heats the Earth. Astronomers and cosmologists talk about the galactic alignment of rare astronomy. Yeah, so I don't need to spend time covering that. Energy of the Earth and our personal energy. The bottom line, here it is. The bottom line is that we are in the midst of an initiation, and it is going to take a tremendous amount of will, awareness, and consciousness to stay focused as to not succumb to these excitable energies. There is a disturbance in the field, as it said in that wonderful movie, and things that were settled are simply unsettling. This isn't good. This isn't bad. It is just changing. How you get through it depends on your choices, depends on your knowledge and choices that you make in your choice in that knowledge and how you change your energy. Remember, it's really less about your body than it is about the energy that is you, because your body expresses that energy that is you. I say it again and again because it's life changing when you hear it and get it in you and start testing it in yourself. You can think of this frequency as a tuning fork. The Schumer frequency is the frequency that the Earth is. I think it says here that it's 7.83 hertz. That is well below your hearing range. So, how do you do anything with a frequency below your hearing range? Well, have you ever heard of binaural beats? Really cool science. If you're interested in something like that, you might want to write that word down, binaural, binaural, something like that. It's where you take two frequencies that are similar, except one is just slightly off, below your hearing difference. What's strange about that is that when you listen to it, you can't really hear the difference, but your mind does, and your mind responds to that difference. There are times when I want to meditate and I just don't want to do the work of listening to Dr. Joe lead me here and lead me there and da 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 da. So I turn on some binaural beats and I just cruise in a frequency and I just receive that frequency and its effect in me. I like it. I like the way it makes me feel. You can get them free on the internet. Just go to YouTube and say binaural beat meditations. And there's a whole bunch of them at different levels. There's 7, there's 5, there's 1, there's 0.1. There's just, they're all a bunch of them. And they all have different reasons for what they are. And sometimes they just make cool, just quiet meditation. You put on your headphone and you sit there for 15 minutes and let it bathe you in this frequency. This particular one that's mentioned in this chapter is 7.83. It is a frequency of Earth. It is a frequency of life on this planet. I think that's cool. Page 296. The topic is the concept of emergence. For those who have been with me for a while, you've heard me mention Heart Math Institute a few times. There's only a few companies, few people outside of Dr. Joe that I bring up in these discussions. Well, it's not to be snobby about it. It's that the name of this group is Dr. Joe's discussions. So that's what I talk about. Yes, there are many wonderful teachers that have lots of wonderful effects, but this is not about them. This is about what Dr. Joe does. But he has such great respect for Heart Math Institute that he mentions them in all 3 of his books. In 1996, researchers at the Heart Math Institute discovered that when an individual's heart is in a state of coherence and harmonious rhythm, it radiates more coherent electromagnetic energy into the environment, and that this signal can be detected by nervous systems of other people. This is not woo-woo. This is measured science that they have done, where they would get one person to go into meditation and they would put on headgear and they would measure that he got out of beta waves and into alpha and theta waves, that deeper waves, that your sensual inputs turned off, and they can think and tune and become coherent to another person in a different part of the building. And this person is also wearing a headset, and he is told to just sit and relax. And at the same time the first person moves in, this guy's brainwaves start being affected. And his heart moves into coherence. This is not woo-woo. This is real stuff, and it really does work, and it really does affect the health and the life of others when you become skilled at it. Heart Math Institute launched the Global Coherence Initiative. The Global Coherence Initiative is based on the beliefs that human health, thoughts, behaviors, and emotions are influenced by solar geometric. We, as a life form, are affected by solar storms. You think not? Do you know that it was last month that 6,000 airlines were grounded because of a massive solar flare that came across our planet last month? Numerous satellites were taken offline, and 6,000 airlines had to get some electronics repaired because they were up in high atmosphere when that electromagnetic storm came across. I guess they thought nothing would happen. Plus, they got contracts. They got to fly people around, and maybe it won't affect them. Well, guess what? You think I'm kidding? You can look it up on chats. This was a bunch of airlines grounded the last month or because of that. Yeah, I found it. This really does affect life on Earth. The Earth's magnetic field is a carrier of biological relevant information. Yes, but that's interesting. The Earth's magnetic field is a carrier of life, biolife energy. All human beings influence the Earth's magnetic field. So the Earth's magnetic field influences man, and man, our electromagnetic field, has an effect on the Earth. We are entrained together in that energy field. We are not separated. And fourth, the collective human consciousness, where large numbers of people are intentionally focused on heart-centered states, create or affect global information field. It is validated, scientifically validated fact that large groups of people with skilled meditation who know and have the skill of heart coherence, we actually can influence the Earth. You think I'm kidding? We can influence the Earth during war and terror. They have measured it. And if we can measure the Earth when the human race gets terrorized because of war, the same system goes the other way. You get a large body of people who have set their hearts and their minds to turn to peace and love. And that energy also can affect the Earth. It can. I'm sorry, but that is not woo. That's real stuff. That's pretty amazing stuff to me. To further the research, I'm on page 297. To further their research and test this hypothesis using state-of-the-art sensors located in various locations around the globe, Heart Math Institute created the Global Coherence Monitoring System to observe changes in the Earth's magnetic field. It can be detected by scientific electromagnetic sensitive equipment. When there's trauma in wars, they feel it. When there's a group that know how to do what we're talking about tonight, the Earth feels it. How cool is that? We are not separate creatures crawling on this rock. We are part of the life expression of the universe. If we could create a community of people scattered all over the world, isn't it possible that this community could begin to produce global effect within the Earth's magnetic field? If what I have said is true, that the Earth's magnetic field affects people, and that people affect the Earth's magnetic field, wouldn't it make sense that if we got some people who were skilled, conscious, and deliberately do this, that it would affect? Yeah, science goes both ways. You may have heard of this as the concept of emergence. We are awakening. This is a new energy and a new time. You're not imagining it, folks. This really is a new time. Dr. Joe is only one of numerous teachers who are shaking this world up. Welcome to the party. I hope you change us. I hope you give me a chance to help you understand these amazing books. Instead, it is a bottom-up phenomena. That means we are not being changed because we have some mystic leader blessing us. This is a bottom-up phenomena. We, the average people of this planet, are taking a new idea and driving that idea into us as an energy and letting that new idea by our choice change us. And that change is changing the world around us. How cool is that? We would understand that to hurt another or affect another in any way is to do the same to ourselves. When we learn not just the idea of coherence, that we are all interconnected, but when we become sensitive enough to the field about us, so that when we walk around the grocery store, we can feel people in love and feel people who are heartbreakingly sad. We learned that we are all entangled. And so it becomes a bigger issue for us to be harsh with somebody else. I think the next section of this chapter is coherence versus incoherence. But that section opens up the discussion of possibility. Once you receive into your mind that this is actually, really, for real, for life, possible, maybe something in your mind will go, well, if it's possible, I wonder if I can. I wonder if I can really change me. If I can change me, I can help someone else change. I can love them enough to give them courage to change. You notice I don't go around pushing people to read this book and change and stuff like this. Doesn't work that way. But what I do is say, hey, look, this dark old army guy, look what he's become because he studied and did this work. You can do even more. Receive it as a possibility. Let that soak in. It's possible. It's possible. You say that to some people and say, if it's possible, let's give it a try. That's what I hope you get when you receive it's possible. Somebody talk to me about the possibility of this. Nobody? All right, I'll continue. I thought that would be a pretty good conversation point. Oh, Nancy, thank you for raising your hand.
Actually, I wrote, I believe it's probable because I believe this is all planned part of the evolution of coherence and the emergence or whatever you want to call it. So, whatever rate that we all come to these kinds of informations around the world, I mean, it's happening and there's no worries. I really believe if we relax, and I'm just starting to really relax. But anyway, I just believe that I've been fortunate to believe it's been possible for 40 years. So I'm just happy that, I've found different paths and I've found this one now. So it's so neat to see the evolution of it. But relaxing and feeling in your heart and feeling love. I used to just sit and meditate and just try to feel like I was in a bathtub of love. And then the possibilities started to really open, but, to help others. But I wanted to thank you on that purpose part that you mentioned about having a purpose, because you opened up some things for me today. But
Good.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. See, yeah, once you receive this as possible, not as just some vague idea, like, oh, okay, that's cool. But so, but a message in your heart that goes, right, this is possible. This is worth trying. This is worth learning. It is possible you can overcome this. You can get free of this darkness. Really, really.
And I just thought, like, why not believe it? Like, what do you got to lose? Right?
Exactly.
Because believing what we've been taught all this time is creating separation, violence, war. And, why not give this a chance working from the inside too? A lot of us
Yeah.
volunteer, do things in the community, but yeah, like you say, you become like you're like a what do you call that? The light that goes around near the sea.
Oh, a lighthouse on the
Well, yeah,
shoreline.
people, you become yeah, the energy, like everybody, this is going to happen for every single human on earth, and
Yeah.
it's exciting, but it takes time. It may take years, but whatever. But you do influence the people around you, and
Yes, you do.
it's fun to try it. Like it's fun to like, let me see how happy and fun I could be today, instead of like
Right.
when I get depressed and I get like that. But anyway, I think this is really good.
Oh, thank you, Nancy. That was good. Yeah, there is so much to learn as you get into this. The world changes because we are taught a world of Newtonian life, cause and effect, matter to matter. That is the society we're taught. I'm here to tell you that's an illusion. The spirit is not the illusion, that's the reality. This is the illusion of the senses. Yes, you perceive it. I read somewhere it said, if you think this is a pursuit, an illusion, go pound your head on the wall, see if it hurts or not. Yeah, it hurts. It's, or as Einstein once said, it is an illusion, but a persistent one. The illusion is that this is not what's in charge. This is the effect expressing itself. Okay, let's talk about coherence versus incoherence to give you an idea of what we're talking about. This chapter is called Project Coherence. Okay, let's talk about it. In order for us to create, I'm on page 298. In order for us to create some type of effect in the earth field, as you might guess, we have to activate two significant centers in the human body, the heart and the brain. In the opening of this, I talked about coherence is when the brain has an energy field and the heart's energy field, and they connect and they become coherent into the same signal and they add together. That's the first thing. By the same means, once someone moves beyond the association to their body, I'm no longer associating this as me. I associate me as the I am. Their environment and time and takes the attention off the matter of objects. That means as you move into attention, and as you move into meditation, and you go up through the energy centers and you bring those energies in and you take your mind off of them, your sensual input turns off and you take your mind off your body, your environment, and time so that you are letting go of the rules of survival, as well as understand by now when they get beyond themselves and put their awareness on the immaterial world of energy, they connect to the unified field, the place where there is no longer a separation between anybody, anyone, anywhere, anything, anytime. This causes them to unify with the consciousness of everybody, everyone, everything, everywhere, and every time. That is an absolute wild sentence, but it declares that when you let go of this sense of separation, this sense of survival, what is left is your quantum mind, is what Dr. Joe calls it, your consciousness self. And as you become comfortable in that field, you find you are no one, no nowhere, no time, and you are tuned to everyone, everywhere, every time. That kind of sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it? Because if I am no one, how can I be tuned to someone? Hard to answer that. You'll learn as you go. The side effect of this process is that it creates more coherence in the brain and in our energy, so our biology becomes more whole. In our research, we've found that when the brain becomes more coherent, it affects the autonomic nervous system and the heart. As you let go of what you're holding on to, all the stresses of your life, as you let the survival mind go, what is left in you is your consciousness, and your body energy is allowed to turn on your autonomic nervous system and heal. If that's all you get out of this, you will have a healthier body. Let's say you just have absolutely no fantasy interest in mysticism. I don't want that spooky stuff. Fine. Let's get you healthier. What do you mean? You still have to do the same work as those who want mysticism. You still let go of your stress. Everybody knows stress makes you sick. Let go of stress that's got you out like this. Let it go. Bring your energies in. Bring your body energies up. Your environment stress energies up. Your time energy, guilt and stuff, bring that up and rest it in your heart center and give yourself peace for a while. When you learn to do that and let that energy rise, your body goes, "Ah, finally." And all your autonomic nervous system starts turning on your immune system, starts absorbing the nutrients of the food that you ate, starts healing the muscles and the nerve systems, and you heal from all kind of diseases. Isn't that enough reason to learn to do this work? The key to the process of coherence is getting beyond the analytical mind. There it is. That's clearly stated on page 299. That's the key. How do I get by this mind that I can't get to shut up? Part of it is simple understanding of the process. If you're dealing with the same knowledge you always have, you're going to make the same choices you always had and get the same result you always have. That makes sense. So you need new knowledge. Enters a new teacher, Dr. Joe, and get that knowledge in you so you can make new choices, start having a different life. Those new choices create different experiences in your body. Those different experiences release different chemicals in your body. Those different chemicals in your body get your DNA at the DNA level. It's called epigenetics to release different proteins that tell your happy body to heal. All you had to do was learn and do different stuff, and your body will heal without you having to worry about it. Please don't worry about it. Without you doing anything aggressive to make it happen. It is the result of giving your body peace and love. You know, for many people, including myself, learning to love me was a hard thing, just didn't fit my paradigm of my life. That's one of the things you learn in this work, is that you learn to love me. When the thinking brain is quieted, it moves into alpha or theta brainwaves, and it opens the door between the consciousness and the subconscious mind. It just does. But you can't experience that connection when you're incoherent, feeling separate. If you're combative, separate, you against the world, I'm an island, you don't get that benefit. The body's too busy just trying to hide from the enemy that's hiding in the shadows. Next section is called Building a Collective Coherent Field. Well, we've been practicing this all year long. First, we learn how to bring our energies in, doing those first few meditations we did in Breaking the Habit, the blessings of the energy centers, 1, 2, and 3. We become conscious of ourselves, and we allow ourselves to draw energy back to ourselves. Where our attention goes, energy flows. And we draw that energy back to us, and we teach ourselves how to raise that energy up. And in so doing, releasing the things that we're holding on to in our mind. That's the first step. That goes back to the first book, first few chapters. We've been practicing this all year. We believe this is because during the first day or two, the group is working on overcoming themselves. He's talking about um, a conference that they had, and they had a little satellite system that was sensitive to energy waves of humans. And they noticed that in the first few days of doing this, that the energy in the room actually diminished somewhat. And they theorized that in the first few days of the group collective, they were drawing energy to themselves, giving themselves peace, learning how to do that first few energy centers. And then, but once those individual fields became greater, the more enhanced, the coherent, they entrained one another. But then, after a few days, they started becoming coherent and their frequencies started adding up. And the room, those satellite energy detectors started seeing the room energy rise significantly beyond any level of one. It's not like a tide and it's all the level of humans, of what individual is. They add together and that frequency becomes great. Some of those occurrences could be labeled as miracles, but we believe it's just part of the process of becoming supernatural. This led us to wonder if our students could affect the nervous system of others. If so, what the implications of the whole would be. These questions would spark the birth of Project Coherence. This question is what started Dr. Joe in this large project called Project Coherence, is that they noticed that in small groups, they could affect the space. They had the electronics to prove it. This isn't just it feels good. No, they've got the electronics that proved it. And he started asking, he says, well, if we do this on really large scale, instead of just a few hundred people in a conference, what if we did it on a very large scale? Could it affect the environment of a city, a nation, the planet? To start the meditation, everyone in the room placed their attention on their heart center. Remember when you were first just learning how to do coherence, your individual's coherence? You would go the mind, the heart. That's where this project coherence starts. First, you go to tuning your own self and becoming your own coherent self. Next, they cultivated a sustained elevated emotion for 2 or 3 minutes. They get coherent and they just learn to love themselves. You've heard me say it, I hope, and I'll say it again. You are the most important person to love. You should love you first, most, and always until you, like a fountain, overflow, and share your energy of love with those around you. The light, the ceiling light in your room doesn't care what's in the room. It just wants to shine. When you get this right, you are just loving you and letting your love wash over those around you. Be the light on the hill. Be that flowing light that touches people's hungry hearts. Next, then we had the collective of 500 to 1,500 students broadcast the energy of the elevated emotions beyond their body into a space in the entire room. Now the intention grows. The first part, they just got coherent. The second part, they learned to love themselves. And now they create an intention that says, I'm going to love everybody in this space. There's 1,000 other people doing it. And they just all decided, we're all going to love. I am going to love. They all decide, I am going to love. So you got 1,000 people going, I am going to love. Whew. I've been in Dr. Joe's conferences. Yeah, it is. just mind altering when that happens. It really is. Next, we had them lay an intentional thought in that frequency for the greatest good of the students sitting in the front row of the room. Then they had some people sitting in the front row that was just sitting there. They had brain monitors on, and they were told don't participate. Just kind of sit there and cruise, daydream, just kind of listen to music and kind of be there. And then he told the audience, tune into these people and love them. And this row of people in that front row, their heart went bonkers. It went off the chart on the electroencephalographs, whatever those heart monitor things are. You really are connected. We are just tuned out. We have been taught to be tuned out. Let's learn to be tuned in. We are bound and connected by an invisible field of energy. And this energy field can affect everyone's behavior, emotional states, and consciousness and unconscious thoughts. We can. We know it. We just don't know we can choose to do something about it. Who here hasn't felt the presence of someone whose energy was so strong they just walk in the room and you turn to see who it was? Oh, everybody does it. You just don't know that you can consciously, creatively, deliberately do this and grow that energy by developing this skill. Results show that when we get out of our own way, we can become one mind and non-locally connect to one another. We don't even have to sit next to each other. We can be 1,000 miles away and affect them physically for coherence healing. I've got time to do something. I'm going to play recording it on a share screen in just a minute. But before I do that, I'd like to give you all an opportunity to talk to me again. I'm sharing stuff that's life changing. It's not only possible, people are doing it. Just average people are learning to do this. There's groups of coherence all over the place. I've got a list of them on my WhatsApp page. I belong to a couple that I regularly sit and share my love with. And I could tell you stories that would stretch you. This is real. This is what real people can do. Talk to me now. Ask me some questions. Talk about your experience. Have you been part of a coherence group? Can you feel somebody else when you meditate for them? Have you learned to tune to somebody and love them? Talk to me. This is the last night we can talk to each other. Nancy, thank you.
I would love if someone else talked, but that would be
Me
anyway.
too.
But I want to contribute because I just really believe in this work. I'm so glad I got introduced to it this year, and thank you. What was the question? No. Oh, I have been in
Tell
groups.
me
I
your
used
story.
to
Tell
be
me if you've
in
done any
actually in the,
coherence. Do you feel it? Do you understand
oh
how it's
yeah.
feeling?
And I've actually been in meditation groups. We've meditated for like 8 hours for world peace. There was like 1,000 of us, and We just know you can feel when you're in a group. Well, when you go to a meditation class, it can feel different as a group compared to when you do it at home. That kind of it's so beautiful. It's like when you do Tai Chi together, as a group, or
Yes,
it's just so beautiful. It's that old saying, and I'm not a Bible reader, or I don't even know, but I know that whenever two or more are gathered, I think it's
yes,
to look at it mystically and energetically and scientifically, that's what it comes to. It's like it's so magical. Sorry, this is
yes.
an exciting topic for me.
It is for
Thank
me
you.
too. And but I know I didn't get it for the first year I came through this. It's like I didn't understand how could this grumpy old guy who was seriously sick with cancer, how could this guy? Well, that's because I thought I was this body. This body can't do it. It's not this body that does it.
That is so great because I was struggling with, like, I've had really high meditations and they've been beautiful and I felt the quantum field, but I didn't have it was like a grace thing. And this is giving me a scientific, I mean, like steps, like just follow these
Yes.
steps. And it's meant to be for the human race to do this and other forms, however it gets you there. I've been in like meditation groups with gurus or whatever. But it happens, I realized, because I'm like was kind of jealous like of you because you found this stuff years ago, but then I realized I was meant to find it now, and everybody's going to find whatever they find when they're meant to find it. So it's like, um
Yeah.
I just got some peace around that, and I wanted to share it because I didn't want anybody, like, it's okay wherever you're at. Just you're just part of, you're that individual snowflake that is raising its consciousness
Yeah.
in its own way. Yeah. But thanks for again for these classes. I can't wait till next year
You're
to
very
start.
welcome. Yeah, because I'll go through the blessing of the energy center one day at a time. And for those who don't quite understand space, or why am I putting my attention on my perineum? Like pucker my butt and squeeze it. Now, why am I putting my attention there? The first energy center is the perineum. If you want to know where it is, pucker your butt. And that's about where it's at. Now put your attention there. That's the entry level of meditation. It's like, does that really make sense? And yet, yes, that really is where the lesson begins. And it's an important first step. And we'll go through that.
I have a
Yeah,
thing. So I meditate quite often. Is there a benefit uh like to meditating alone versus meditating with a big group of people?
they each have their special meditation. The best thing about meditating by yourself is that you don't need somebody. You came by yourself and you will leave by yourself. So knowing how to be by yourself is an important process. The illusion of separation is what we do in this body, but we discover our unity by ourselves. You've heard me say it many times. I go into the darkness to find the light. I go into the, I go into the silence to hear the voice. I go alone and find a chorus. I stand before the gate as a pauper with empty hands, and I'm received as a prince, inheritor of the glory. Each one of those is I, individual, and it's simply this life. Because of the design of this, we are both 100% unified and entangled in all things. But to get there in our consciousness, we have to understand where we are now. You don't start a trip planning from somewhere halfway to where you're going. You start the trip with where you are now. And where we are now is embedded in a sense of separation. Don't lie to yourself. Don't make stories up. That's who and what we are. We wouldn't be having this question if it wasn't true, but it is true. And so you get to your trueness by starting with where you are now and releasing, going through those gates and receiving yourself in the oneness. Then this conversation wouldn't even happen because it'd be like the question of worthiness. In this struggle where we are now, our society have taught us that we are unworthy to receive divine blessings. That's for somebody else. I guess I'm speaking about me, so don't be offended. Why would I feel unworthy? I was taught it. Why do I think I am worthy now? Because I have learned it. I kind of wandered off on your question.
No, that was perfect. Thank you.
To summarize the entire year, not just the book, but the entire year. Why don't we just learn to love ourselves so that we'll be empowered to love each other? Why don't we do that? I know when I was first starting these books, and I was trying to learn to love myself, and I had so much darkness in me, so much unforgiveness in me. I always wondered, I came up with a challenge. Why is it I can pick up a little puppy and just love the dickens out of this little puppy to the point of tears? And yet, me, the most advanced species on the planet, I didn't even like, never mind love. How could I like me when I carried the darkness that I carried? But that's part of what we're learning to do is we're learning to let go of our past so that we can be in the present moment, so that we can go into that self-coherence of our heart and mind, so that we can go into that place of tuning, so that we can collectively, selectively, deliberately pick a place to put our heart and become coherent with it and add life and love to it. We are more entangled than I ever thought we were. What we're doing here is developing the skill to use it, to be it, to do it. Nobody wants to talk to me. I mean, this is the end of the year. Gee, this is graduation talk time. You guys are all but advanced students now. You've touched the supernatural of the human expression. And no one wants to talk to me and say, hey, look what I learned.
Yes, Ray, how can we tell that we have truly loved ourselves? What is a good marker of that?
When you have let go of the unforgiveness in you, if you're still holding on for unforgiveness, because I'll be bold enough to, I don't care if somebody else did it or you did it or the sky fell on you. All unforgiveness lands here. If you're still holding unforgiveness, then you haven't learned self-love. Because if you were self-love, you would just fight to get rid of that pain. Let me go to my little puppy story. I got a thing for puppies, pardon me. You got a little puppy, you pick it up and he's whining. Do you really care why he's whining? Would you really care? Some big bad dog scared him and now he's. You don't care. You just want the puppy to be happy and his tail wagging, him get goofy like puppies do. You just love to see puppies be that way. Do that for this. If you're holding on to unforgiveness, this isn't happy. Love it, free it until your hands are empty. Now, I did not say don't seek justice against someone who committed a crime to you. If someone committed a crime, get on the phone and put his ass in jail. That's on recording. I'm gonna have to get back and take care of that one. I'm talking about quit punishing your heart for the hardship of your survival life. Let go. So your heart and your body can heal. That's how you know if you love yourself enough. Because things are going to happen. Life can be chaos. You can go outside the door and something terrible happens. Someone can offend you, rob you, hurt you, and just by the end of the day, you're just biting. How long are you going to hold on to that? If you want to practice love, you will do whatever it can to free your heart so your heart can love again. Be defensive, protect yourself. That's what these energies are for. For you can be protective of your body, of your environment and time. That's what they're for. They're not a mistake. They're there to help us be safe. But when you sit down, can you let go of it? Dr. Joe talks about the deer. The deer was chased by the wolves, and the wolves bite him, and he runs and runs until he's finally free. Once he's free, it's within a half an hour that deer is walking around with his head held high, eating leaves and fighting with his friends. Be like that. You know, you want to know if you love? How do you love this? Is your heart free? Love yourself first, most, and always until you're a fountain that overflows and blesses all those around you. Bioza, I see your hand up.
Hi Ray, I will really miss you on Sundays
Yeah.
until February. Ray, I did learn a lot and a lot of things are in my awareness. So I do appreciate what you're doing. Thank you. So Ray, I'm in a scenario where I'm like, this is what I want, but I cannot let go of what I want. So I'm like, okay, you know what, universe, this is what I want, and and I'm not able to let go. So help me let go. And the spirit is not listening to me because I'm still carrying it. So I'm like, oh, you know what? It's like I do not want to let go. That is why I'm asking for intervention. And it's like, okay, so you're not giving me what I want, and you're also not letting it go, and you just want to teach me lessons. So, I don't want my life to be all about lessons. So I'm having this conversation, and I realize a part of me is angry, and a part of me is like, oh, so how much time will you take, spirit?
That is so beautifully honest and sensitive. Wow. Thank you. That's just I could hear you feel your heart. And I would say half of the people here can go, yeah, I've been through that, where I want to stop doing something, but I can't stop me wanting it. You know, it could be something as simple as quitting smoking if you're a smoker. It is, for some smokers, it is like life changing to try to quit that stupid habit. They want to quit, but they can't. People who have friends that they can't seem to break the addiction to a toxic friend. Uh, just as just numerous examples of I want it, but I don't want to want it. The how do I help you with that? Dr. Joe had a conversation with somebody in one of his earlier conferences where a guy asked him, how do I stop wanting something that I know is bad for me? And Dr. Joe says, I want you to think about me as being that thing that's bad. Look at me. Think about me. I'm that bad thing. Now turn around and go the other direction. And he says, what do you mean? He says, I don't care if you already know what you're going to replace it with. You know what you don't want. You know that it's strong in your body memory. You know that it's got burned in highways in your brain. You know the reality of your habit of thinking and habit of chemicals that has given you. All that you know. What you don't know is where to begin from here. And I'm telling you, turn around and go a different direction. It doesn't matter what that new direction is, as long as you are not feeding that old thing. Is it easy? Oh, no. In some cases, it can be tough as nails. But the whole idea is that every time you give into it, you refresh those neural pathways. Every time you give into it, you refresh those body chemistries that says, I remember. Every time you give into it, you rewire your body to that old self that you're trying to get rid of. Is it easy? Oh, God, no. In some cases, it's really hard. You think it was easy for me to forgive the ugliness that I lived in? I would sit in this chair and I didn't have people to talk to. I'd sit in this chair and just cry because I wanted to hurt people. That's my memories.
I understand you, Ray, because for me it's truth and justice. And it's like, yes, I can move forward to it, but and not anymore. I want to see some truth and justice happening in my life. And
Yes.
and then I'm like, you know what? Uh, y- y- if you want me to let this go, help me, guys, help me. I don't want to go. Uh, like I want to release myself, but at the same time, I want to see evidence that this will happen because the
That
universe.
evidence can potentially be slow coming, or it can be there before you tomorrow. There's no rules on that evidence.
That's the thing, because the universe is like, this hippie sometimes who just takes his own time, and it's like, we'll be there when we'll be there. And I'm like, no, I don't like your time limit. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make that comment on hippie, but I just meant like they're free flowing, and
I'm
time.
sorry, we don't get to choose that.
Yeah. And then
I
I'm
know.
telling the spirit
I
that
know.
help me with this because this is so frustrating. And the
Yes.
guides are like taking a
All right.
coffee break.
I have another expression that I talk to. How much do you want it? Do you want it so much that you can be angry enough to refuse? Let me give you an example. If I tried to make you do something, let's say I sat in your living room and I tried to make you do something that you said no, you're not going to do, and I tried to make you do it. I bet you're a gutsy enough lady that you would fight me. You said, you can't make me do that. Yeah, I can. And you would make me sorry that I tried to make you do something you didn't want to do because
Yes.
you're a gutsy, spirited lady. I can hear it in your voice. Get an attitude. You have been lied to, manipulated. How do you feel when somebody lies to your face? You have been lied to for years and they have programmed you for their purpose. It's worse than if I was in your living room and I tried to make you do something. They have lied to you 1,000 times throughout your life and programmed you into stuff that is not correct for their purpose. Get an attitude about it. I'm not exaggerating. I mean it. How bad do you want it? It is uncomfortable now. Every time that tells you you have to do this, you go like, hell I do. Get out of my face. You have had programs in your mind where you literally have neural pathways to make you think this way, to make you reach these conclusions. You have body memories to make your body scream to repeat that event, that behavior. You have been lied to and conditioned without you choosing it for their purpose. Get an attitude about it. I'm not exaggerating. I mean, get an attitude about it. Think of this grumpy old guy, me, sitting in your living room trying to make you do something you said no. I get an image of what you would do to me if I tried to bully you in your own house. I think I would regret showing up that night. Get an attitude. And I don't mean figuratively, I mean get an attitude. You can fix your attitude later. When I was the first couple of years I was doing this, I used to tell people I was going to war with my past, and they didn't like me using that word. Dr. Joe says if you want to change, your new energy has to be stronger than that old energy that's controlling you. You got some strong energies that you did not choose, right? Get an attitude and start telling them, no, I won't. Will it be easy? No, you'll have days that you'll walk in circle fighting with your programs. I did. I had a poem that I said my first year or two that helped me wage war. It's by Dylan Thomas. You've heard me talk about it. Dylan Thomas wrote a poem that says, do not go gently into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Rage against those lies. You can find peace later. There's a time to sow crops, time to plant crops, a time to have peace, and a time to have war. You have been lied to and bullied in your life, and they've done it consistently enough to program you to receive it and accept it. Get an attitude about it. Do I sound like I'm not kidding? I hope so, because I'm not kidding. If it was just a diet change, I'd be talking differently. Well, you do this, and you get a new idea, and then you think about it, and you can change it. But you've made it clear this is a lot deeper than that.
Yes, and I've been trying to fight it, and then I don't want to surrender.
I got a
And-
picture image for you, because sometimes picture images kind of help. Picture this old grumpy guy, me, in your house, trying to make you do something you don't want to do. Picture your attitude. Say, Ray, I'm not going to do that. No, you got to do this. And picture your reaction and how you'd make me regret trying to make you do something you don't want to do.
Actually, that is my mind with a part of my mind, and that's actually happening in my mind. So yeah.
Like I said, I used the war expression my first couple of years because I was so bound and determined to let go of my programs of violence that I had. Dr. Joe says, make your new energy stronger and more intense and passionate than the old energies that you're fighting. You can give yourself peace later. You've got to you got to win this war first.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you for saying that because earlier in the video that you played, the guy was talking about peace and giving
Yes.
peace to others, and a part of me is like, I'm not there yet, and
Yes, that's
and I'm
correct.
like, how's these things coming from? Like like a part of me was very like not in yeah, and thank you for saying that the peace comes later.
The peace comes later. You think I could do this peace coherence stuff that first 2 years I was doing this? Are you kidding me? I was still fighting war in my mind. I couldn't do this last talk about Project Coherence that first 2 years. Rage against the dying of the light. Man, I just was I was in a fight for my life, and I was warring against the darkness that wanted to claim my life. You can't have me. Peace comes later.
Thank you, Ray. There's a lot of honesty in you. I really appreciate your pureness.
I'm kind of a strange meditation teacher, aren't I? You don't get much out of me, do you? Can you imagine me sitting on a big pillow on a stage with a little rapper going, "Oh, that just ain't who I am." I'm more likely to tell you to rage against the darkness than I am to tell you to go home.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you.
But I love the passion and the sincerity in the heart that you shared with me. Thank you. I take it with all the deepest sincerity that I know how. Don't be afraid to raise your energy and fight back. Peace can come later. Hello, iPhone. Is that Charlie?
It is indeed. Yeah. Hi, Ray.
How you doing? Thank you for being patient on that.
Oh yeah. No, incredible stuff. Actually, that was really good. Um, I'm curious now that you have yourself gotten to a certain place where there is peace, um, and maybe you're not at war with those stories as much as you once were. Do you have a practice when they start to creep back in, when you're lamenting, when you're feeling guilty, shame, etc., but an ability to reconnect to wholeness and gratitude and a daily practice uh, when you're in the shopping mall and somebody's banging into you as opposed to meditating in your private space?
I understand. Let's get something honest here. I, in my nature, am a warrior. This warrior has found peace. Because I have peace doesn't mean I'm not a warrior. You would be impressed if I would show you the martial arts that is a program deep in me. I am not one to lay a hand on. And when it was all over, I'd walk away and smile and say, "Be blessed. Have a nice day." Because I am not my body, and my body is ruled by the law of self defense and survival. One of the things that I've learned once I got far enough on this side of the equation is that I know I'm an energy being. And it's okay for me to fight like hell for a good cause. That's why we have 3 energy centers to help us survive. We are supposed to survive. We are not supposed to be humble mats for someone to walk on. And when I'm all done with my battle, I can go play a game of cards and have a cup of coffee and have a good day because it doesn't possess me anymore. So
So
that's my honesty is that, yeah, I still exercise. I'm still moderately strong for a guy my age. And I can still look a young punk in the eye and say, I dare you.
So you're saying you still beat the hell out of the pain body, so to speak, that when it does try to raise its ugly head, you're like the same practice you just described would be like my role right now is to beat back these forces and aggressively where my energy is greater than it, and then the peace will come after submission.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Look at the wildlife. When a wolf pack attacks an elk, full racked elk, they will stand shoulder to shoulder and they will kill those wolves and then walk off in a half an hour. They're eating grass and having a good time. That's my model. Neither the wolf nor the elk did anything wrong. They just did their nature. The wolf isn't wrong for trying to kill an elk and try to get something to eat. The elk isn't wrong for using his antlers and taking that wolf and throwing him up in the trees and killing him. Neither one of those are wrong. That's their nature. At what point is killing wrong? I no longer know because my body dies, but I don't. I just transition to another form. Killing's bad. Is it bad for a lion to kill a elk as it runs across the Serengeti in Africa? And he kills that poor deer and it kills it and eats it? Is that wrong? He killed it. What if he chases that elk and he gets away? Is the elk a bad elk because now the lion is hungry? At what point is killing wrong? I no longer know. But I will tell you, I will defend me just like that elk defended himself against the wolves. I will defend my family just like the pack of elk defended against the wolves. And then I will go off and have a good dinner by the end of the day.
There's
The
there's this
difference,
concept that's
the difference between now and 5 years ago is I would be caught in that and I would role play that thing until I was sick because I couldn't let it go. Now it's no more, it's no different to me than traffic on the highway. It's like just an inconvenience. By the time I get to where I'm going, I don't care anymore. That's the difference between now and then. Does that make sense?
it does, yeah. There's this concept of these parts of ourselves that, in their misguided way, still think that they are doing something that be helpful for us, and there's this concept of trying to redirect them to a different task. Have have you heard of that before? Have you tried to implement some of that? I like what you're saying in the sense that if it plays dirty, you got to be able to match it with the energy level it's bringing in, right? And if it's
Yeah.
hijacking your nervous system, you better fight back. On the other hand, there's been some part where it doesn't pull all the time, where there's been an ability to redirect it to acknowledge and understand what its higher intention is, where it thinks it's trying to help me, trying to protect me for something, etc. Um,
You have a biological imperative to survive. You have chemicals to help you get stronger than you normally are. You have chemicals that will make you run faster, pull stronger, hit harder, be more aggressive. You are designed to fight like hell to defend you and your family. I'm no longer ashamed of that. But if you don't learn to let go of that, that which has made you strong will make you sick and weak. The trick now is to not take it and let it flatter your ego. Oh, Mr. Tough Guy. No, you just had an event and you did what you're supposed to do. Let it go and have peace again.
Mm.
That's what happens in nature, and they do just fine with it.
Yeah.
It is us who are burdened by a cortex that likes to rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse. And right? I don't care
Yeah.
if it's your wife yelling at you because you messed something up, you got yelled at your boss, or you had an accident on the way home. We rehearse things that just drive ourselves crazy. That's the problem.
Mhm. So you're saying in the moment you defend yourself from this pain body attack, but you don't later think I'm the boss of it. I'm better than it. I'm more of a badass than it. You just literally defend and match the energy it brings at you to defend your own state of peace and then go back to that state of peace.
Exactly. That's
Okay.
it. You said it absolutely correct that time. You
Okay.
do what it
Perfect.
takes to get through the moment, depending on whatever level you found fit. And by the time you get home, you should have it pretty well out of your system.
I love it. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Just I encourage you. Be what nature has designed you to be, a man. There's a reason why men have broad shoulders and they tend to make muscle. There's a reason why men tend to be crazier in the way that physically make men, because we're meant to be the guardians. Be the guardian and then find peace. How's that for a guy who's supposed to be teaching meditation?
I do love your perspective. I mean, the reality is you found a path, and it's incredible for all of us. Yeah,
Yeah.
you follow the people that have made it work, right? That's
Yeah.
yeah.
You're talking to somebody who is honest about how he lives. Am I as 100% to what? No, I mess up. I get off track and I get hooked into fantasies and it's like, great, quit it. And I do what I told friends. I get mad at myself and just stop it until I break the habit of being myself again and I'm back on track. You know, I kind of live this stuff, not perfectly, but I do. And I've got the life to show it. I mean, I've defeated multiple cancers and all kind of crazy stuff. It's insane what I've done when you look at it, in close up. It's like, really? Yeah, this goofy old man really did do all this shit. If I can do it, you guys can do it.
I had a shrink who once used to say, or a therapist who once used to say, "Safe pain body," and I think tonight I'm finally understanding what that's all about.
Yeah,
You probably have
because
to edit that out of your YouTube.
yeah, yeah, because your body doesn't care about what your goal is. Your body cares about repeating what it's comfortable and familiar with. That's it. That's why your body can be addicted to almost any crazy behavior you get comfortable with. And then it will compel you to continue being that behavior. You can educate your mind. You have to train the body. It's a much slower process. Once the body gets hooked on something, it's a slow process to change it comparatively to your mind. That's just how it is. Plus, we have different roles in life. There are some people whose role in life just seems to be peacemakers. Well, good for them. But I tell you what, when they get in trouble, the first person they'll do is call a warrior. Society needs somebody who will run into a fire. not away from it. Society needs people who will run into a fight to defend instead of away from it. Right? God bless the peacemakers. I'm so glad that there's people who like being an accountant. God, I studied that subject for a while in college. Oh my God, I had a hard time getting the rule and the discipline to be an accountant, the total suppression of creativity, and the absolute rule-driven work. Oh, just studying it made me break down. I couldn't, you know, so there's a place for that. There's a place for people who are peacemakers, and that's their whole gig in life. And they find it very hard to understand the person who was born the adventurer. You know, if there's too much peace, I'll mess it up just so I can fight my way out of it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. I think my angel just poked me. He says, "Oh, you want that?" No, no, I don't want it. I didn't mean to say that. Okay. All right. Thank you, guy. Charles. Olga, thank you for being
thank you.
patient.
I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart again for all you do. It's a gift. You are, like Dr. Joe says, you're example of truth and my inspiration. And it's all that you say, you do, it really helps.
Yeah.
Thank
You're
you.
very, very welcome.
Let's make them cry, you guys. Hey, thanks.
Oh,
I'm kidding. It's sweet because you really are. I'm so glad I found you this, this fall, and you've helped me so much. Thank you, Olga, too. Because I mean, look at us. We're in different parts of the world, and this is beautiful. So thank you. It takes a lot of work what you're doing, and thank you so much.
Yeah. I spend a few $100s a year and hours every week to give to you this.
It's really nice.
I also wanted to say thank you, Ray. You keep me grounded to this work, and thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. The hardest first step is present moment. Once you get that,
Okay.
then you understand surrender and you
Yeah.
understand worthiness. That's the doorway. Once you get present moment, you've gone through the door. Because then all you got to do is just love yourself, go in harmony, tune into your heart's desire, and become coherent. There's a reason why present moment was the second chapter of this book, because everything else followed. Without
Okay.
getting that right, you've missed it.
Okay.
And so learn about present moment. That's where
Thank you.
that is where you put away your senses and you put away your five senses and you're in that field and you're just quiet for a little bit. I am present. I am. It all begins at that. What are you laughing at?
So good. Oh, you can hear me. I forgot.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. I was thinking, let's fill his heart up. I mean, it really is. It's really beautiful. All of you guys and the whole thing that's happening around this beautiful planet. I did want to tell you, I'm one of those weirdos. I had an ex-Marine. My husband was a Marine, and
My
he
son is a
on
Marine.
the rescue team. He was up in the mountains. I mean, but he was awesome. But we lived in the mountains, and I never lived with someone with a gun. And anyway, he told him, well, when I'm out of the house, do you want to learn? And I'm like, no. I said, and this is me. This is the way I was born. he couldn't understand. I said, if someone wants to come in and shoot me, I'm just going to say, shoot me. I mean, I have no desire for violence that way. But I do understand there's other beings, different parts of me that do. I say like the other humans, and that's just part of the whole plan. It took me a while to understand, but now I see there's people. I think I first saw it on that movie Michael, and he had to stop and go up and fight the bull on the hill. Michael the angel
Oh,
with
that
John
was a
Travolta.
great movie.
And
I
when I
remember the
saw that, I
dance.
went, because I always thought angels were peaceful, and then he said, no, I have to
No.
go fight every once in a while, and I was like,
Yes.
oh, I got it. So I appreciate, but I was talking about the pain body. Sorry, I just wanted, because that's Eckhart Tolle first introduced that to me a while back. I do remember, because he looks at it like energy as well. And honestly, if you stay in a state of peace, you have like 90% chance of being attacked by a pain body. I mean, your pain bodies are attracted to other pain bodies energetically. Violent people are kind of attracting other violent people, sort of.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but I'm glad you're prepared for a situation, but it's probably unlikely that you'll ever be in a situation like that.
Just remember, the body, your whole life, not just your body, is stronger when you are periodically exposed to stress and threats. Think about what happens to an astronaut who goes up into a satellite and spends a month up there, absolutely free of all stress. He's got a scheduled life. He's got good food, maybe not taste too good, but it's nutritious food. There's no chance of any possible threats getting to him. And he comes back to this
No air
planet
pressure.
too weak to walk.
Oh yeah, that's wild. I have to look that up and why. I'll have to research that one. That's amazing.
Because the body is designed to have stress.
But what I mean is we can have stress. Like I have stress, and I don't call it stress. I call it yoga. I mean, it's so beautiful. I strengthen and do my body through that, and it's joyful movement. And so I can create strength, and there's different ways, different people do different. We're all snowflakes.
I propose that you take somebody like me that knows rage, and now that I know peace, my peace is a brighter light, brighter flame.
Yeah,
than someone that's never known war.
Yeah.
Because when I cry out for peace,
it's beautiful.
I go flame on.
Yeah, that's so great. My thing is, I mean, yeah, there's so many different ways to get there. My thing, I've been going through guilt and shame about something in the past, and that's where my pains come from. Your pain came from rage. Mine came from wherever it comes from. It seems like we're all have to go kind of through this. It makes that side when we come out brighter, almost. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question about that. Let's take a self-image. You're standing in front of a mirror, and you're the consciousness looking at yourself. And you take away all of this face that you wear.
Yeah.
Just put it over there. Just put it over. It's safe. We're not throwing it away. It's just right there.
I put my whole body over there. No.
No. What's left?
What's left after I take my face away?
No, not your physical face.
I'm so sorry, I'm not listening.
All this stuff you're holding on to.
Oh, well, that's what you help me with.
The survival face that we hold on to protect our ego, our self-definition, all this I am stuff that we call ourselves. We just peel it off like an onion layer and just set it here. It's safe. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Take it all off. What's left?
Oh, so much beauty. It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's so amazing. But I didn't know how to let go.
Why are you hiding it?
Well, see, I was stuck on, I could forgive others pretty easily. Like that's just the way I was born. But
sure.
I can't forgive.
It gets down to the question, why are you unworthy to receive it?
Well, no, I couldn't forgive myself of dumb decisions in the past.
Why are you unworthy to forgive yourself?
Well, no, I don't know.
Yes, I am. I know
but
I'm
you
right.
but you're right. But what I'm saying is you really helped me tonight, because now I can see it as a physical, beautiful spiritual healing of my heart, to let go of I can let go of, like when you
It's
said
one
let go of
step deeper than
forgiveness.
that. It's a
Yeah.
step deeper than that.
Yeah.
You have
Okay.
not acknowledged that where you sit,
Yeah.
and the confused heart that you have
Yeah.
right now, right here, are already, always have been, a loving daughter of the divine. Right now,
Yeah.
you already are forgiven. You already are worthy of great, beautiful lights. You don't have to earn it, don't have to achieve it. It's there waiting for you to claim it, except you're telling yourself you're not worthy.
You're
I'm
right.
telling you, I've seen it. And I'm telling you, you, sweetheart, are so worthy. You've been
We all
lied
are.
to. You've been
We all
lied
are.
to. Give it
But
up.
thank you. Yeah. No, you've really helped me, because I'm like, now I can see that as a goal, to let go of that forgiveness, that
Yes.
unforgiveness, as a goal to really help myself move spiritually ahead, and it's just,
Tell
it's
yourself
like,
you are worthy.
yeah,
I
I need to work.
am a divine. Remember my I am statement? I am a divinely created, eternally luminous electrical energy being. I am a divinely created. I
But if
am
you,
son of the Father. I
I
am
love,
heir to the throne.
sorry, I'm not
I
listening.
am heir to the infinite potential. I am. First, I say what I am. Your body won't believe you if you're saying you are a body and you're divinely inspired. Your body doesn't believe that for a moment. Quit
I,
saying you're your body.
well, I only do that when I get in those moods. Like I
Sure,
meditate
I
a
know.
lot, and I can go where I don't, all my cells dissipate. Like I
Sure.
have no body, and I mean, it feels good. And then, but I
But
just
the
need to
reason why
practice more.
you can't forgive is
Like
because you're not worthy.
right.
Quit.
That's like a last big hurdle for me
Yes,
in my
it
life.
was it was
It's like,
my last big hurdle for my healing too.
yeah. Oh, see,
My
it's gonna,
first hurdle was surrender.
yeah,
And then it almost stopped and I learned, oh, I got something else. Worthiness. And I declared
yeah,
I am. And heaven blew up in me when I learned I
yeah.
am.
I, I'm not, I have no expectations. It may take me years. I'm going to start practicing. I'm excited. I hope that I can do all that. And thank you. That's really, really true. That's the last big hurdle, and I want to let
Yeah.
it go so my heart will be free. But
Our
I
Western
look forward to the
society and
train.
Western religion has taught us we are unworthy. Taught us and
Oh, is
told us
that
from the
true?
time we were an infant, taught us, you know how hard it is to break a program that you get put in an infant?
It takes a while.
That's what you're up against.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'd stop buying all the goods. You have to
There it
be
is.
insecure to buy all those goods.
That's
No.
it.
Anyway, it's beautiful that that I don't know. I've seen like changes in different other groups that are growing, like exponentially. And Dr. Joe's, I can't even. This is amazing. Okay, well, thank you. Turning this off.
All right. I think we've done this enough.
Man, Ray, you tell those angels of yours they really knocked it out of the park tonight.
I think they just heard you.
Incredible. Thank you.
Yeah, talk to me on WhatsApp. Give me a cause to get on WhatsApp, and I'll poke and I'll get up some strange ideas, and I'll every now and then I go off on some rabbit trail that somebody say, "Hey Ray, what about this?" And I go, "What? Oh, that's cool. I got to chase that down." And I'll dig up some rabbit trail and write a couple papers on it. You know.
Can I ask in the WhatsApp, do you have that I am energy electric thing statement that I can
I
say to
put it out
myself
there
every day?
somewhere. I'm gonna have to
Okay.
just make it a video so I can you can hear me say it and see me passionately saying it. Maybe, but I've written it. I know
Thank
I've
you.
written it.
I'll find it then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Good night, all.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank you.